Hello and welcome to Politics Around the World, only on Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebiki. Now let's start off the show today with what is making waves around the world, particularly in the Middle East. What is now news, folks, is that finally Hezbollah is desperately calling for a ceasefire in its war with Israel. I know lots of you would say, finally, let's heave a sigh of relief that at last there wouldn't be any more killings and threats from both sides. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Hezbollah, never trust any of its superficial action. And the reason is the remote desire and request for a ceasefire could possibly be a Trojan horse, a leeway for Hezbollah to regroup and find its footing for a relaunch right into Tel Aviv. What is no longer news, however, is that Israeli military has constantly put up more offensive with the aim of totally destroying Hezbollah from the top to the bottom. How feasible this would be is one discussed that obviously needs more explanation. Now, permit me to run you through some historical facts on this crisis that's been there for a very long time. In 1978 was the first time Israel invaded Lebanon and codenamed the invasion as Operation Litany by Israel, which was in response to the Coastal Road massacre of citizens near Tel Aviv by Palestinian militants based in Lebanon. Right after that was in 1982, and they codenamed the operation Peace for Galilee, which was when gunmen attempted assassinating Shlomo Agov, Israel's ambassador to the United Kingdom. Right after that, the third time that is, in 2006. Now, officially, Hezbollah is born, and of course it was a fight between Hezbollah and the IDF which continued for 34 days until the United Nations broke its ceasefire in the morning of August 14, 2006. Today, we have yet another which has started since October 7 after Hamas invaded Israel and killed about 1,200 Israeli civilians, which has snowballed to yet another invasion of Lebanon by Israel. When would all of this stop? And can we avert any of this conflict in the future? Only time will tell. Really, only time will tell. Alright, from the Middle East, let's recalibrate our searchlight to Europe, where it's now being discovered that most of the slain soldiers on the Russian end in the fight with the Ukrainians are mostly North Korean soldiers. Yes, I know lots of you will be wondering how North Korean soldiers found themselves in Donetsk. Well, that is because Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un have further cemented the alliance, which of course had been there since the 50s, when Kim Il-sung, that is Kim Jong-un's grandfather, and the Soviet Union had its first alliance and major economic relations after the Korean War of 1950. Just like the United States of America and its ironclad relationship with Israel, Kremlin is promising to support North Korea and make its enemies their enemy. As a sign of gratitude, I want to believe, North Korea had to send its military to fight for Russia at the front, which unfortunately has led to many North Korean soldiers losing their lives. The question many would ask is, recognizing what seems to be a strong bond between Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, with Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, do we see a scrapping off of what we know today as Ukraine if Donald Trump wins as president come November 6? Time will tell. Obviously, time will tell. All right, so without much ado, let's turn our compass to the United States of America right about now, particularly with what is happening in the build-up to the U.S. elections, especially as it concerns the power of misinformation. Especially Hurricane Helene, yes, came up and blew up about 6 states in America, which people still trying to recover from the destruction. And just few days after that, Hurricane Milton did another untold havoc in Florida. But guess what? Donald Trump said at a rally in Scranton, Pennsylvania, the hometown of Joe Biden, he said that the Biden's administration was holding up funds from the Republican states ravaged from the hurricanes and redirecting such funds to immigrants, a statement which is 100% inaccurate and sounds more like what politicians in the third world countries will say, particularly in my own their country, Nigeria, where you see politicians desperate for power alleging that the opposition were responsible for forex shortage and petrol scarcity, for example, even when all indications show otherwise. The truth remains, ladies and gentlemen, that any responsive leader without an ounce of personal or selfish interest often would love to speak to facts and evidence, but most importantly, will do same with every feeling of responsibility. Unfortunately, when big democracies like America permit individuals and candidates who intentionally try to deceive people in their most vulnerable moments because they dreadfully want votes, then democracy becomes a shadow of itself. That's all we have today for politics around the world right here on Enterprise Television. I would love that you keep a date with us. For more information, you can always see us anytime you want to at enterprisetvnews.com, and also you may like, comment respectfully, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next on Politics Around the World. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.